Surf's up, everybody. We've reached the Pgl Copenhagen Major 2024 playoffs, and 7 of the 8 teams are in the top 10 of the HLTV World Ranking. We have practically one of the best brackets we have seen for, I don't even know how long, maybe 5 years. It's been such a long time since we've seen favorites actually making it to the playoffs. Teams with storylines that we can gravitate towards, teams with fan bases, teams with the best players in the world. You would say that all of them have made it here. The only team that seemingly snuck in was Eternal Fire, and they have been trending upwards very, very frequently, and also the cultural impact of Xantares is undeniable. Everybody knows the Xantares peak, and so seeing him in the major playoffs is a sight to behold. We're going to go through the first matchup here. We're going to go through the entire bracket. Cloud9 versus Vitality. I am going to say, coming into this tournament, I thought Vitality were a tournament favorite. That being said, ZywOo is only posting a 1.12 rating. Spinks has talked about the fact that he is sick, and the thing is that actually ZywOo has been sick in a tournament before. At IM Cologne 2022, he was sick for that event. Zonic talked about the fact that ZywOo was taking antibiotics, and actually, Vitality finished 9th to 12th at that event. However, ZywOo did post up a great rating in that event, but definitely, if he's not at 100%, it's very tough for some of the matchups. And so, I want to go over something with the veto here, that in most cases, in isolation, I would think that Cloud9 is a better team than Vitality. But Vitality ban, to me, one of the few maps in Cloud9's pool that I don't like when they play it. Ancient, despite the fact that I do like Boomich's mid-rounding on the map, it is Electronic's worst map by far in terms of rating, and Cloud9 will pick into Anubis. I would probably bet that they pick into Anubis, which is a map that I feel like Flames and Mezzi aren't always the most comfortable on. And if you're playing with a Flames and Mezzi who aren't always super comfortable, I saw Flames wreck Floppy in a 1v1 towards Long A frequently, but he had a lot of great timings, and I feel like Cloud9 are just a little bit more careful, and they're going to play with a little bit more teamwork. In fact, if I really rank these teams in terms of overall teamwork, I feel like Cloud9 are a top 3 team left in this, and maybe you would fault them for the fact that they don't have an Opper, but I think that the fact that Vitality banned one of Cloud9's 6 worst map, or like their 6th ranked map in my opinion, in Ancient, which is Electronics' worst, and then Cloud9 will pick into Anubis. I'm not really sure where Vitality goes in this veto to have a strong advantage. If they want to play Inferno, Cloud9's cool with that. If they want to play Mirage, maybe Cloud9 can be a little bit better at that one, but a nuke would probably be my idea, so I think Vitality definitely could be good at that, but Hobbit has actually been absurdly good as an opera on that map, and so I'm actually taking Cloud9 in this one. Until I like, the main thing with this is that Vitality not having a 100% ZywOo is concerning to me. If I'm Vitality, I am doing everything in my power as an organization to get ZywOo as healthy as humanly possible, but I'm not sure how capable they are of doing that. Okay, and I am taking these pick'ems really seriously, even though I haven't had the best opening stage and elimination stage, because I still am playing for a little bit of pride here, okay? I don't want to just bomb out of this completely. Next up, Spirit versus FaZe. I'm just going to tell you right now, Spirit are the tournament favorites right now. FaZe barely made it through the elimination stage, and they had a tough time. They had some weirdly hard. It was really difficult for them to actually make it. They obviously beat Complexity pretty convincingly on the last day, but losing a couple earlier series made me question the strength of this roster right now. And I just feel like, even though I would rate in isolation Frozen better than Twist, I don't necessarily think that Frozen is a better fit in all things, because he actually kind of moves some of the positions around for the FaZe players. And people like Rain, for example, you know what they say, you can't teach a dog you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and I unfortunately feel like that might be the case with FaZe. I just feel like they haven't really caught up entirely to speed, and it almost was just it almost felt like Kerrigan gave everything just to beat a Complexity team who didn't even really have a strong Allegiant in the server. So next up, Eternal Fire versus Navi. I'm really happy about the Eternal Fire run. Predicted them earlier on in the year to make a top 8 run at an S-tier LAN. They've done that. They've accomplished their goal. They've given Turkish people something to be happy about. But I think Navi plays some really tight CS, actually. I think they play very well. I think that Alexi and Blade have combined to make some really, really nifty T-sides on a couple of different maps. And if you're playing high-level CS against a team like Navi, Blade and Alexi B will outbrain you. Wycadia also, to me, has been a little bit up and down, despite the fact that in the run-up to make Eternal Fire a team that I think people should be on the lookout for, I feel like performances are a little bit inconsistent, and he is one of the people that doesn't have arena experience, whereas somebody like JL, who's been performing fantastically, has arena experience. Wonderful, the best player for Navi, has arena experience. Even Ima, who made it to the grand finals of the last major, has that arena experience. Alexi B2, bid as well, major champion himself. Like, there's no reason to think that Navi will fall off once they hit it big time, whereas Eternal Fire just don't even have those reps under their belt. Now, another one here. This is actually a pretty 50-50 one, but I feel like coming into the like based off of name brand value alone, brand name value, you would have picked G2, but Mouz are a more complete team. They are for sure a more complete team. Yimpat is an unbelievably strong anchor, and for him to be the most overqualified anchor maybe in the world right now is something that is totally going to boost Mouz's potential in this game, because you can't just exec into his bomb sites. You can't just go right at him, because he really can find multi-frags so frequently. And I'm worried for G2. They barely made it through past Virtus Pro. They barely actually got past, they barely even made it. They barely even made it that far. And they only got through, if we were going to be like really be harsh about this, we don't know what would have happened if James didn't disconnect right there, or he didn't have an NVIDIA driver problem. But I think G2 of all teams here, in terms of the run they had, not the easiest run by any means, but one that draws a little bit of question. I know that their players are good on stage, and that's what it's a little bit concerning for Mouz, whereas I don't know if they all have those reps right now. Shuhei obviously has proven himself. Brolin actually has. Even pre-pandemic, he was playing in arena events. But for some of the other guys, you might think they fall off, but Mouz's team play is so strong. Torzi is obviously going to be a weaker opera than this in Monacy, but that's practically speaking one of the only angles I can find for G2. Monacy will be the best player in the server, but the whole of Mouz is so powerful that I'm very, very worried about G2 in this one. So I will be taking Mouz. And maybe, just maybe, if this were in a studio, I would say with 100% certainty I'd take Mouz. But given that it's in an arena, G2 do have a chance, but I will still be taking Mouz. Spirit versus Cloud9. Bad blood, a little bit of bad blood here, you know? Shiro leaving Cloud9 to join the Spirit team. Donk, best player in the world right now. I think that the veto can... the thing is, Cloud9 can't really punish Spirit that hard because they don't play Vertigo, and so I feel like that was probably one of the few win conditions here. I will be taking Spirit. Navi versus Mouz. I think that Mouz right now, just a much, like, the only player that I, again, think is better for Navi outright is Wonderful, and JL has shown an impressive streak of form, but I actually think that in mid-round adaptations, in mid-rounds, I actually would rate Shuhei higher than Alexi B. I think game planning wise, Blade and Alexi will come up with a better game plan than Cyclone, but in the middle of a round 3v3, I think Shuhei and Mouz are a bit more coordinated, and I'm gonna be, but the thing is that Blade is such a master at game planning. He's so crafty, and I think that the stage experience is going to be really valuable for Navi, but I think that Mouz are better overall as a team, and I think that in some ways, Spirit, this is their tournament to lose. I'm going to be taking Spirit overall. I'm going to be saving that one right there. I think that Spirit were coming into this one, and because they went through the ringer that was Katowice and proved themselves in an arena, I find it so unlikely that they fall off here. This is Chopper's major to win. This is Donk's major to be the MVP of. This is Shiro showing everybody he made the right decision by leaving Cloud9 and joining Spirit. Those are going to be my pick'ems, guys. Thanks so much. Be sure to check out the stream on all the days where I am co-streaming the event. And that's going to be on twitch.tv/Mauisnake. So be sure to follow me there. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok. I'm throwing a couple stream highlights on there from time to time. So follow me on all those platforms. As always, being toxic is a choice.